And you can make the argument that late in the game you don't want to decide a game on that foul. Well, that argument becomes null and void when Natasha Cloud, or like when the referees screwed over the Fever. That argument becomes null and void when the Fever got absolutely screwed by the referees.
WNBA controversy that's got everyone's group chats on fire. Picture this. A packed arena, 17,000 screaming fans, a nail-biting finish, and a referee's whistle that just didn't blow. Yeah, we're talking about that no call on Caitlin Clark versus Natasha Cloud that's got the internet in a chokehold. This isn't just a basketball game.
And Indiana Fever did come up short playing up against the New York Liberty, all because one referee decided to not call a foul on Natasha Cloud in the final seconds of the game. Well, it looked like Natasha Cloud has responded to the online scrutiny she has been receiving, bruh. I'm telling you right now, this is a bad look for the WNBA.
It's a full-blown soap opera, complete with shady refs, a fiery coach, and a social media clapback that's pure chaos. So grab your popcorn, hit that like button, and let's unpack this mess with all the wit, shade, and tea you can handle. Let's set the stage, fam. It's the New York Liberty, the defending champs with a swagger so bright it could blind you, rolling into Gainbridge Fieldhouse to face off against Caitlin Clark and her Indiana Fever squad. This wasn't just any game. It was the kind of matchup that had blockbuster written all over it. The Liberty, sitting pretty at 3-0, were looking to keep their undefeated streak alive, while the Fever were out here trying to prove they could hang with the big dogs. And let me tell you, this game was electric. It's like when you're at a party, the DJ drops the hottest track and the whole room loses it.
I told you, the Indiana Fever, if there's one thing they'll do all year, it is fight till the very end, down as much as 15, battling all the way back, taking a 12-point lead, only to watch.
That was the vibe in Indy. 17,000 fans hyped, the energy through the roof, and both teams throwing punches like they were in a heavyweight fight. Now let's talk about Caitlin Clark for a sec. This rookie phenom has been carrying the WNBA's hype train on her back like it's a light backpack. She's the kind of player who makes you forget you're watching a game and not a Hollywood action flick. And in this game, she was cooking. The Fever, against all odds, took a 12-point lead in the fourth quarter, and for a hot minute it looked like they were about to pull off the upset of the season. The crowd was screaming so loud it probably registered on the Richter scale. But then, like a plot twist in a Night Shyamalan movie, the Liberty flipped the script. Jonquel Jones, aka JJ, went full superhero mode, dropping 26 points and 12 rebounds, including outscoring the entire Fever team 14-12 in the final quarter.
That 12-point lead, poof, evaporate in a matter of 3 minutes. Were the referees awful? You're damn right they were. Were the referees garbage? You're damn right they were. Were they calling ticky-tack fouls for the Liberty?
Talk about a one-woman wrecking crew. It's like she looked at the scoreboard and said, "Nah, I'm not losing today." But here's where things get spicier than a ghost pepper taco. With the game tied at 88-88 and just 9 seconds left. Yep, that close. Sabrina Ionescu steps up to the free throw line for the Liberty. Cool as a cucumber, she sinks both shots, putting New York up 90-88. The stage is set for a final possession that could go down in WNBA history. The Fever call a timeout, advance the ball, and who do you think is getting it? Caitlin Clark, obviously. The woman who's been breaking records left and right, ready to either send this game to overtime or win it outright with a buzzer beater. Sophie Cunningham lobs the ball to Clark between the circles, and here comes the moment that's got everyone yelling at their screens. Clark drives left, going for the basket like she's got rockets on her sneakers. Natasha Cloud, the Liberty's defensive pit bull, slides in to stop her.
Natasha Cloud not getting called for that foul she applied on Caitlin Clark changes everything. I mean, that altered the game, bro. It definitely did. Caitlin Clark came out in that fourth quarter, got the ball, and she was...
And then, bam, contact. Clark gets knocked back, the ball comes loose, and the clock ticks to 0. No shot, no overtime, no win for the Fever. The Liberty are celebrating, but Caitlin Clark? Oh, she's pissed. She's throwing her hands up, looking at the refs like, "Y'all serious right now?" The replay is crystal clear. Cloud's shoulder hits Clark's, and it's not exactly a love tap. It's the kind of contact that in any other game would have had a ref blowing the whistle faster than you can say, foul. But these refs? They must have left their whistles in their other pants because they let it slide. The game ends, and the internet? It's like someone dropped a match in a room full of gasoline. Let's talk about that no call for a second, because it's got more layers than an onion. Imagine you're baking a cake, right? You've got all the ingredients: flour, sugar, eggs, the works. You mix it, you bake it, and just when you're about to pull it out of the oven, someone swaps it for a lump of charcoal. That's what this no call felt like for Fever fans.
Screening action down low. Clark has to get open. 1 second left. Clark doesn't get the shot off. Cloud locks her up. And New York comes into Indianapolis and takes the checkered flag.
My goodness. And look at her face after this. Look at her face.
Caitlin Clark was hacked, and I don't mean by a computer virus. The replay shows Cloud pushing into her, and it's not subtle. It's like watching someone bump into you at a crowded party and spill your drink, then act like nothing happened. Clark was so mad she was practically steaming, gesturing at the refs like, "You've got to be kidding me." And honestly, who can blame her? This wasn't just a missed call, it was a game changer. Those 2 points from the free throw line could have tied the game or even given Clark a shot at WNBA history. She was 2 points shy of her 11th career 20-point, 10-rebound game, a record that would have had her name in the history books. Now, if you thought Caitlin was the only one fuming, wait till you hear from her coach, Stephanie White. This woman didn't just step up to the mic at the post-game press conference.
I thought she got fouled. I think it's...
And obviously, Caitlin Clark got fouled about 4 times before the ball was stripped cleanly. But the thing is, I always say with the fouls, it's fine. It is fine to not call these fouls if you're going to call it physical both ways.
She didn't see a foul and calling it a playoff-type game. Cloud didn't just agree, she doubled down with a quick, "Appreciate you always." Oh snap, that's not just a response, that's a mic drop. It's like Cloud looked at the haters, smirked, and said, "Y'all mad? Stay mad." Now let's be real. Natasha Cloud's response is peak Natasha. She's the kind of player who'd stare down a tornado and tell it to bring it on. Her defensive stats in this game were straight fire. She was locking up players left and right, and her intensity helped fuel the Liberty's comeback. But that "appreciate you always" tweet? It's like pouring hot sauce on an already spicy dish. Fever fans are livid, calling it unsportsmanlike, while Liberty fans are out here chanting, "That's our girl." Cloud's refusal to acknowledge the foul, or even hint at sportsmanship, has turned this into a full-on feud.
But it's touch fouls on the Fever and physical against Fever.
pretty egregious what's been happening to us the last few games. A minus 31 free throw discrepancy. And I might be able to understand it if we were just chucking threes, but we're not. We're attacking the rim. And the disrespect right now for our team has been...
It's like watching 2 reality TV stars throw shade at a reunion special, except this one's happening on the court. And let's not sleep on the bigger picture here. This no call isn't just about one game. It's part of a pattern that's got Fever fans screaming, "Conspiracy!" In their last game against Atlanta, the Fever had 4 free throw attempts through 37 minutes. 4. That's like showing up to an all-you-can-eat buffet and only getting a single chicken wing. For a team that plays as aggressively as Indiana, that's not just weird, it's suspicious. Both of their losses this season came down to the wire, with opponents getting free throws in the final seconds while the Fever got nothing. And once you've got a star like Caitlin Clark, who's basically the WNBA's golden goose right now, you'd think the refs would be a little more attentive. But nope, it's like they're letting her get mugged out there and calling it physical basketball. This whole situation raises some big questions.
White should have looked at that, didn't see a foul, also didn't see one on Cloud. Playoff type of game. What a finish by JJ. Now, guys, we know Elle Duncan is a serial hater at this point, bro. I mean, last year she was all cool, but she must have...
Are the refs giving the defending champs like the Liberty the benefit of the doubt because of their pedigree? Are younger teams like the Fever being held to a tougher standard? It's like when you're the new kid at school and the teacher's pet gets away with everything while you're getting detention for breathing too loud. And for Caitlin Clark specifically, this no call might have robbed her of a historic moment. Those 2 points could have pushed her to a record-breaking stat line. And instead, she's left arguing with refs who won't even look her in the eye. Speaking of which, y'all the ref just walking away from Clark and Sophie Cunningham after the game? That's cold. It's like ghosting someone after a bad date. At least have the guts to explain your call, bro. This controversy is bigger than just one play, though. The WNBA is riding a wave of popularity right now that's bigger than a tsunami. Sellout crowds, skyrocketing TV ratings, and mainstream media coverage that's got everyone from your grandma to your barista talking about women's basketball.
It switched up her temperature after Stephen A. Smith or somebody called her out on the show Stink. And I'm telling you right now, Elle Duncan has simply been one of the biggest haters in the damn genre. I'm sorry, bro. But it looked like Natasha Cloud hurried up and responded to this. She stated, "Appreciate you always." So it looked like they have some whatever.
Caitlin Clark is a big reason for that. She's the kind of star who doesn't just play the game, she is the game. But with all this attention comes pressure. Fans are investing their hearts, their time, and their money into this league, and they want to know the games are fair. When calls like this happen, it's not just a bad look for the refs, it's a bad look for the whole WNBA. It's like serving a gourmet meal but forgetting the main course. You can't have a league this hot and let sloppy officiating steal the spotlight. So, what's next? This drama is far from over, and it's setting up a storyline that's juicier than a reality TV finale. The Liberty and Fever are slated to face off 3 more times this season, and you know every Caitlin Clark-Natasha Cloud matchup is going to be must-see TV. Picture it.
They're on the wrong end of some whistles, it seemed, in this game, and it's seemingly been that way for much of the season, and it's been a recurring theme where there's a level of physicality allowed against them, and they're not allowed to reciprocate on the other end.
Clark driving to the basket, Cloud locking her up, and 17,000 fans holding their breath while the refs decide whether to blow the whistle. It's going to be intense, like a cage match with better jump shots. And for the WNBA, this is both a challenge and an opportunity. They've got to address these officiating issues head-on, whether that means reviewing calls, training refs better, or just admitting when they mess up. Because if they don't, they're risking the trust of fans who are riding this wave with them. And let's not forget the players themselves. Caitlin Clark is out here proving she's not just a rookie. She's a force. She's handling the pressure, the physicality, and the drama like a pro, even if the refs aren't giving her the calls she deserves. Natasha Cloud, on the other hand, is leaning into her villain role like she's auditioning for a Marvel movie.
That particularly, of course, goes for Caitlin Clark. So by White speaking up, not only is it a tactic to get a better whistle from the refs, but it's also a statement to say, I've got your backs to the team. And I think it needed to be said, particularly when applying it to the Indiana Fever.
Love her or hate her, you can't deny she's bringing the heat. And Stephanie White? She's out here fighting for her team like a mama bear protecting her cubs. This trio is giving us drama, talent, and passion in spades, and it's why we can't stop watching. So where do we go from here? The WNBA's got to step up and make sure games are decided by the players, not the refs. Fans, drama enthusiasts, strap in for the wildest ride in WNBA history, because we're about to unpack a controversy so spicy it could make a jalapeno blush. If you thought reality TV had the market cornered on chaos, think again. The WNBA just served up a steaming hot plate of drama that's got fans, players, and even the refs in a full-on frenzy.
And Clark, like, she's not particularly happy either. She's not particularly happy either. About the refs. And the referees are they're screwing her. They're absolutely screwing her, and they've screwed her for 3 games in a row.
We're diving deep into that infamous no call involving Caitlin Clark and Natasha Cloud in a game that had more twists than a soap opera finale. This isn't just basketball. It's a saga of missed calls, fiery clapbacks, and enough social media shade to block out the sun. So grab your energy drink, hit that subscribe button, and let's break this down with all the wit, sarcasm, and high-octane energy you can handle. Trust me, you're not ready for this tea. Let's paint the picture, fam. It's the New York Liberty, the reigning WNBA champs who strut into every game like they own the court, facing off against the Indiana Fever in the electric atmosphere of Gainbridge Fieldhouse. This wasn't just any Tuesday night matchup. It was a clash of titans, a showdown that had epic written all over it. The Liberty were riding a perfect 3-0 start, looking like they could win the championship in their sleep, while the Fever, led by rookie sensation Caitlin Clark, were out to prove they could hang with the big dogs. Picture this: 17,000 fans packed into the arena, screaming so loud it's like they're trying to wake up the neighbors 3 states over. The energy? Off the charts. It's like someone cranked the volume on a Kendrick Lamar concert and told everyone to lose their minds. Now let's talk about Caitlin Clark, because this woman is a walking highlight reel.
They literally are allowing her. Heck, they screwed her in the playoffs as well. Like, remember this in the playoffs?
Teams are going to pick up.
Like, again, I'm not calling this foul on Bird.
Touches the basketball.
Like, it could be a foul on Bird.
That's what Burton
But look
did
what Major
there.
does to it.
All over Caitlin.
Maybe
going
smacked her in the
as-
face.
That's a foul.
She's not just a rookie. She's the kind of player who makes you forget you're watching a basketball game and think you're witnessing a superhero origin story. Clark's been carrying the WNBA's hype train like it's a featherweight backpack, and in this game, she was straight up cooking. The Fever, despite being the underdogs, were giving the Liberty a run for their money. They even snatched a 12-point lead in the fourth quarter, and for a hot second, it looked like they were about to pull off the upset of the century. The crowd was so hyped, it was like they'd all chugged Red Bull before tip-off. You could feel the electricity through the TV screen, like static shock from a cheap sweater. But here's where the plot thickens, and trust me, it's thicker than a triple-decker burger. The Liberty, being the champs they are, weren't about to let this slip away. Enter Jonquel Jones, aka JJ, who decided to channel her inner Thanos and snap the Fever's dreams out of existence. This woman was a one-person wrecking crew.
Was the second best player on the floor last night. I thought she was fantastic. She was absolutely fantastic, but she felt Caitlin Clark. Like, it's not a personal attack on Natasha Cloud.
Dropping 26 points and 12 rebounds, including outscoring the entire Fever team 14-12 in the final quarter. It's like she looked at the scoreboard, saw the Fever pulling ahead and said, "Not today, kids." The momentum shifted faster than a TikTok trend, and that 12-point lead, poof, gone like your phone battery after a day of scrolling X. Now let's get to the moment that's got everyone's blood pressure through the roof. The game's tied at 88-88 with just 2.9 seconds left on the clock. That's right, 2.9 seconds. That's less time than it takes to microwave popcorn, but it's enough to make or break a game. Sabrina Ionescu, the Liberty's sharpshooting star, steps up to the free throw line with the pressure of 1,000 suns on her shoulders. Does she flinch? Nope. She sinks both shots like she's shooting hoops in her backyard, putting New York up 90-88.
But she fouled Caitlin Clark. She fouled Caitlin Clark. There is zero chance that about 3 fouls coming up to this, she reached through her arm. Yes, she got a bit of the ball.
The stage is set for a final possession that could go down in the history books as legendary or infamous, depending on who you ask. The Fever call a timeout to advance the ball, and every single person in that arena, from the hot dog vendors to the nosebleed seats, knows who's getting the rock. Caitlin Clark. The rookie who's been breaking records faster than you can say buzzer beater is about to have the ball in her hands with a chance to either tie this game or win it outright. It's the kind of moment that gives you goosebumps, like when your favorite show drops a cliffhanger and you're screaming at the screen. Sophie Cunningham lobs the ball to Clark between the circles, and here comes the play that's got the WNBA world in a chokehold. Clark takes off, driving left toward the basket like she's got a jetpack strapped to her back. Natasha Cloud.
You can see after the game, Caitlin Clark and Sophie are both running up to the referee here. They are both so upset, and the referee is just walking away from them.
The Liberty's defensive bulldog, who plays like she's guarding Fort Knox, slides in to stop her. And then, wham, contact. Clark gets knocked back, the ball comes loose, and the clock hits 0. No shot, no overtime, no victory for the Fever. The Liberty are out here popping champagne, but Caitlin Clark, oh, she's livid. She's throwing her hands up, staring at the refs like they just stole her lunch money. The replay is clearer than a 4K TV. Cloud's shoulder slams into Clark's, and it's not exactly a gentle nudge. It's the kind of contact that,
He won't even look at them in the face. He keeps turning. Like, Sophie even went up at one point and is like tapping on his arm. He would not even look at them. You guys.
Speaking of history, let's talk about what was at stake for Clark. She finished the game with 18 points and 10 rebounds, just 2 points shy of her 11th career 20-point, 10-rebound game. That's a record that would have had her name etched in the WNBA history books, probably for years to come. It's like being one question away from winning Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Only for the host to say, oops, we're out of time. Those 2 points could have been hers if the refs had called the foul, and instead, she's left arguing with officials who won't even give her the courtesy of a conversation.
I have watched so much basketball in my lifetime, so much NBA, so much professional basketball. It's comical at times when you see the
It's like trying to reason with a customer service bot that keeps saying, please try again later. And if you thought Caitlin was the only one ready to throw hands, wait till you hear from her coach, Stephanie White. This woman didn't just walk into the post-game press conference, she stormed in like a hurricane ready to tear the roof off. Stephanie White is not here for the nonsense, and she let the refs know it in a way that had jaws dropping from Indy to Timbuktu. That's the kind of word you use when someone cuts you off in traffic and flips you off afterward. She didn't stop there, though. Oh no, she was just warming up. White went full-on CSI, pointing out what she sees as a pattern of biased officiating against her team. "It's pretty egregious what's been happening to us the last few games," she said. "The disrespect right now for our team has been pretty unbelievable. That's not just throwing shade, that's launching a full-on shade missile. Let's talk numbers, because they're screaming louder than a toddler in a toy store. The Liberty shot 32 free throws in this game compared to the Fever's pathetic 15. That's more than a 2-to-1 ratio, folks. It's like one team's playing with a VIP pass, while the other's stuck in the general admission line."
Players after the games talking to the refs, because a lot of them end up knowing each other at a certain point because they've reffed their game so many times. The fact that this referee wouldn't even acknowledge the players was kind of crazy.
White was especially heated about how her team's aggressive, attack the rim style wasn't getting the calls it deserved. "We're not just chucking threes," she said, probably with a look that could melt steel. "We're attacking the rim. And when you've got players like Aaliyah Boston getting absolutely clobbered down low without a whistle, it's hard not to wonder if the refs are watching the game through a kaleidoscope." White even took a swing at the WNBA system for addressing officiating issues, saying, "There's a system to making sure we can send stuff in and communicate our grievances, so to speak. I don't know if I have a feeling that the system works." Bruce, when a coach is out here publicly questioning the league's integrity, you know the tea is scalding. But hold up, because this drama's about to get spicier than a 5-alarm chili. Enter Natasha Cloud, the Liberty's defensive dynamo who plays like she's guarding the crown jewels.
Crazy to me. Like, when I saw that, I said, this is really strange, because the referee should have enough confidence in the calls that they made to at least discuss. You should be able to at least discuss something with the players, because a lot of times players will go up and be like, "Why did you call that? What did you see?" Well,
this woman is no stranger to controversy. She's got a reputation for physical play and spicy comments that's longer than a line at Starbucks on pumpkin spice latte day. And instead of cooling things down after the game, Cloud decided to crank the heat to 11. When ESPN's Elle Duncan tweeted about the play saying she didn't see a foul and calling it a playoff-type game, Cloud didn't just nod along. She hit back with a quick, "Appreciate you always." Oh, snap. That's not just a response, that's a full-on mic drop. It's like Cloud looked at the haters, smirked, and said, "Y'all mad? Good, stay that way." Let's be real, Natasha Cloud's response is peak Natasha. She's the kind of player who'd stare down a tsunami and tell it to take a hike. Her defensive stats in this game were straight up fire. She was locking up players left and right, and her intensity was a huge part of the Liberty's comeback. But that "appreciate you always" tweet, it's like tossing a lit firecracker into a room full of dynamite. Fever fans are furious, calling it unsportsmanlike, while Liberty fans are out here chanting, "That's our queen!" Cloud's refusal to acknowledge the foul, or even hint at sportsmanship, has turned this into a full-blown feud. It's like watching two reality TV stars go at it during a reunion special, except this one's happening on a basketball court with higher stakes. And let's not sleep on the bigger picture here, because this no call isn't just about one game, it's part of a pattern that's got Fever fans screaming "conspiracy" louder than a tabloid headline. In their last game against Atlanta, the Fever had 4 free throw attempts through 37 minutes. 4. That's like going to an all-you-can-eat buffet and being told you can only have a single French fry. For a team that plays as aggressively as Indiana, that's not just weird, it's downright suspicious. Both of their losses this season came down to the final seconds, with opponents getting free throws, while the Fever got nada. And once you've got a star like Caitlin Clark, who's basically the WNBA's golden ticket right now, you'd think the refs would be a little more attentive.